Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel Candid Chemistry. In my first video lecture, I'll be teaching about organic compounds. The contents that we will be talking about in this video lecture will be about the definition, sources, destructive distillation of coal, uses, buckyballs. Let me introduce organic compounds. Organic compounds were considered as those obtained from living things such as plants or animals, whereas inorganic compounds were those obtained from non-living or mineral sources. This theory was referred to as vital force theory. This theory was rejected by the scientist Friedrich Wöhler when he obtained urea, an organic compound, from mineral origin. Since the synthesis of urea from ammonium cyanate, millions of organic compounds have been prepared and analyzed. All these compounds contain carbon as an essential element. Apart from carbon, most of the organic compounds also contain hydrogen. Other elements which may also be present include oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, etc. For historical and conventional reasons, a few of the carbon compounds such as carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, carbonates, bicarbonates, etc. are studied as inorganic compounds. It has also been recognized that chemical forces exist in organic compounds are a bit similar to those which exist in inorganic compounds. Thus, it was felt that organic chemistry should be redefined. According to modern definition, organic chemistry is that branch of chemistry which deals with the study of compounds of carbon and hydrogen, also known as hydrocarbons, and their derivatives. Organic chemistry is now defined as the chemistry of compounds of carbon, as carbon is the essential element in all organic compounds. However, there are several compounds like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, carbon disulfide, carbonates, bicarbonates, cyanides, thiocyanates, etc. are studied in inorganic chemistry because of their properties. Let us discuss the different sources of organic compounds. Petroleum, coal, and natural gas are vast reservoirs from which many organic compounds are obtained. These are called fossil fuels and are formed over a longer period of time from the decay of plants and animals. The first fossil fuel to be discussed is coal. It is believed that coal in nature was formed from the remains of trees buried inside the earth crust some 500 million years ago. Due to the bacterial and chemical reactions on wood, it got converted into peat. Then, as a result of high temperature and high pressure inside the earth crust, peat got transformed into coal. Interesting. Destructive distillation of coal is the process in which coal is converted into its main fractions, that is coke, the solid part, coal tar, the liquid part, and carbon gas, the gaseous part, in the absence of air and under very high temperature. Crude coal gas and ammonium liquors are also some of the residue found out of it. From crude coal gas, certain compounds are formed such as benzol, methane, cyanides, and sulfur compounds. Then coal tar, which is the liquid part of coal, undergoes fractional distillation in which several other liquids are found or they are being separated on the basis of their boiling points such as benzol, toluene, xylene, naphthalene, phenol, and many other compounds. Another fossil fuel to be discussed is natural gas, which is an important means of energy. It is a mixture of low boiling hydrocarbons. Major portion of the natural gas is methane. It is also formed by the decomposition of organic matter. Being cheaper, it is used for power generation, in cement and fertilizer industries, as a fuel in general industries, and for domestic purposes. Some of the simpler hydrocarbons along with their formulas are given in the diagram just beside the text. Last fossil fuel to be discussed is petroleum. Mineral oil is called petroleum when it is in the refined form. It is thought to have been formed by slow chemical and biochemical decomposition of the remains of organic matters found between the sedimentary rocks. When extracted from rocks, it appears like a liquid of blackish color known as crude oil. It is refined to get different petroleum fractions. The crude petroleum is separated by fractional distillation into a number of fractions, each corresponding to a particular boiling range. Students, let us discuss some of the properties of organic compounds. They have a peculiar nature of carbon, since carbon is the most essential part of any organic compound. They are non-ionic in nature and they are highly soluble in non-polar solvent. Organic compounds are of complex nature. They show different process of isomerism. The rates of organic reactions are slower than those of ionic reactions. They have low melting and boiling points, and they also show slow or low electrical conductivity. We are surrounded by organic compounds in our daily lives. There are several uses of organic compounds, some of which have been summarized below. Organic compounds are mainly used in biochemistry in the form of proteins, enzymes, carbohydrates, lipids, vitamins, and nucleic acids. They are also used in the synthesis of plastic, synthetic rubber, medicines, preservatives, paints and varnishes, textile fibers, fertilizers, pesticides, detergents, cosmetics, dyes, and many other products, etc. Dear students, let us now discuss one of the allotrope of carbon, in which 60 carbon atoms form something that looks like a hollow soccer ball, as shown in the diagram as well. It is the only molecule of a single element to form a spherical cage. The molecule's official name is Buckminster fullerene because it is shaped like the dome invented by that scientist Buckminster Fuller. Informally, chemists call it buckyball or carbon-60. Its atoms are arranged in a collection of regular pentagons and hexagons, 12 pentagons or 20 hexagons to be precise. Combining buckyballs, nanotubes and polymers to produce inexpensive solar sails that can be formed by simply painting to a surface. Buckyball may be used to store hydrogen, possibly as a fuel tank for fuel cell powered cars. Buckyballs may also be able to reduce the growth of bacteria in pipes and membranes in the water systems. Cool. Students, I hope this video lecture was helpful to you in understanding the basic concepts of organic chemistry. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel Candid Chemistry. Thank you.